Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Am I the a-hole for not sharing my only plate with a pregnant woman? Posted by Yuri Pumpkin Spice. I recently found out that I have a gluten allergy, which explains all the stomach pains and aches I've had while trying to eat anything my entire life. Since finding out about the allergy, I've been making sure to avoid foods that contain even trace amounts of gluten, because even a small amount causes indigestion, and in some cases vomiting. I was invited out to breakfast with some friends of mine, and I let them know about the allergy, so we could pick somewhere that had food that I could actually eat. The place we settled on was a really high-end breakfast restaurant that had a whole separate kitchen, or at least a section of the kitchen, for preparing food without gluten. This was a lifesaver, since had that not been the case, I'd have had to skip the restaurant entirely. Included in my friends was a couple who recently got pregnant. We'll call them Emma and Via. Via's the one who's pregnant and said she wouldn't be having much since she wasn't feeling very well due to the morning sickness. Everyone understood and offered to let her have just a few bites off their plate so she could still have something nice, even if it was just a little. I didn't agree to this though, since they were all going to be sharing with each other and I couldn't take part. I explained why I didn't feel okay sharing, since I'd be just giving away food without getting any in return, and all my friends seemed to completely understand and agree that that was fair. When the food came out, everyone was sharing and having a good time. Via asked if she could have a bite of my food, and I politely declined since I couldn't grab a different bite from anyone else. Via told me that her pregnancy cravings were kicking in, and all she was asking for was a couple of bites, so I should have just given that to her. I told her again I'd already explained that I didn't want to share any of my food, as that was all I had. Emma told me to just give her half, and that I could order more food if I wasn't satisfied with the amount left, and again, I told them no. The gluten-free options were quite a bit more expensive than what they were eating, and paying for 2 plates just so Via could have half my food didn't seem fair. Via then told me just because I was on a diet didn't mean I could be selfish, and everyone else had no issue sharing. Thankfully, the rest of the people sitting there did help me stand up for myself, and told Via that I'd already explained that I wouldn't be sharing since no one could share back. While I'd ordered scrambled eggs and gluten-free pancakes, everyone else had normal pancakes, French toast, avocado toast, and other things that I just couldn't eat. Via wasn't satisfied with my justification as to why she couldn't have any of my food. She went on and on about how I turned the entire table against her and shamed her for being pregnant and hungry. I told her that if she'd gotten her appetite back, she could always order herself a plate, so she didn't need to rely on anyone else sharing their food. Via went off at this and told me about all the things she needed to pay for in preparation for her and Emma's baby. She told me I was being selfish and heartless because I didn't want to give her half my plate when I can afford to do so. This is where I may be the a-hole, because I told Via she chose to get pregnant and she chose to go through all the issues that came with it. I didn't choose to have a gluten allergy, and I didn't want to go hungry just because she wanted to eat off everyone else for free. Via started ugly crying and everyone tried to calm her down, but she and Emma ended up leaving without paying for their portion of the bill. No one blamed me since I was right, but Emma sent me a message telling me I could have just said no and left it at that, instead of embarrassing Via in front of all of her friends. I'm starting to feel very guilty. I didn't want either of them to leave. I just wanted her to stop trying to leverage her pregnancy against me as a way to get the only food I could eat. Am I the a-hole? Edit. We did also send them a Venmo request for their part of the bill. They've been told they can either pay the bill or they can never come out to eat with us again. So it went from can I have a bite of your food to just a couple of bites to give me half your plate and order another one? It sucks that money's tight for her, but she doesn't know OP's financial position. For all she knows, he could be struggling too, and this is the first treat he's allowed himself in months. Either way, being pregnant doesn't make everyone else obligated to pay for you. And Emma's message is BS. OP did say no. It was Via, who went on and on, trying to make OP look bad. Am I the a-hole for refusing to punish my son after he pushed his cousin into a pool? Posted by Throwaway. My brother recently turned 45. He threw a birthday barbecue at his beach house, which I attended with my wife and our kids, Sam who's 8 and Emily who's 5. We live pretty far away, so we stayed at the house for a few days. Less than a week before the party, we found out that Emily had an ear infection. Her pediatrician told us she'd have to avoid getting her ears wet. The only reason we still went to the party was because the kids were so excited about it. We told Emily she could still go in the water, but just not dive. Also in attendance were my cousin Greg, his wife Julie, and his kids, Mike who's 7 and Chloe who's 17. They live in a different state and were also staying at my brother's house. I hadn't seen them since Mike was a toddler, but it quickly became clear he had no intention of getting along with my kids. For whatever reason, Mike decided that Emily was faking her ear infection and started misbehaving over it. During the first 2 days of our visit, he tried throwing sand at her, hiding her toys, and on one occasion, stealing her medication. Whenever me and my wife tried to berate him, Julie would claim that he was just having fun and we had no right to scream at her son. She'd say that he wouldn't do it again and that should be enough. During the actual party, the kids were playing in the pool, while us adults were eating. Chloe was watching them. Sometime later, Emily and Mike came to us crying. Both of them were completely wet. Mike told us that Sam had pushed him into the pool. We got the full story from Chloe. She was playing with Emily in the shallow end, and when she left the pool to get a glass of water, Mike showed up and pushed Emily's head under the water. Chloe ran back, but Sam pushed Mike into the pool before she got there. Mike wasn't hurt. My wife and I gave Sam the violence isn't the answer talk, but we didn't punish him any further. He was protecting his sister. Julie and Greg want us to ground him, as he'd gotten physical with a younger child. They insisted that Mike's actions were innocent and that he didn't deserve to be attacked over them. They told us to either ground Sam, take away his electronics, he doesn't have any, or forbid him from going into the pool. We refused to do any of these things. We returned home a couple of weeks ago, and they're still messaging us, calling us bad parents. They've gotten some of our family members on their side. I don't usually care about these things, but I'm not used to my family calling me entitled, so I'm wondering whether I'm in the wrong here. Am I the a-hole? I might get some heat for this, but violence was absolutely the solution here. A 7-year-old was holding a 5-year-old's head underwater. She could have died. You should be thanking Sam for potentially saving his sister's life, not scolding him. Also, you're kind of the a-hole for allowing it to get to this point. Sounds like Mike's been harassing and trying to hurt Emily for days. And you just left her in this dangerous situation? Also, I just want to point out the irony of this sentence. Julie and Greg wanted us to ground him as he'd gotten physical with a younger child. They insisted that Mike's actions were innocent and he didn't deserve to be attacked over them. Mike literally got physical with a younger child. Like, do they seriously not see the hypocrisy of this? Might want to have a chat with your other family members and give them all the facts. I'm guessing they might have been told a different story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to share a bed with a male friend for weeks? Posted by a throwaway. So, I'm going on vacation with 5 of my friends and we went to rent an entire house together. 4 of them are in a relationship, so they'll have 2 rooms as a couple, which leaves me and a male friend left. I'm female, by the way. Of course, it'd be way cheaper if we slept in the same room, so we wouldn't have to rent a 4-bedroom house. I've shared a bed with him before during a shorter vacation, and he's a good friend, but this time, I insisted on having my own room. I'm spending $1,600 on a 2-week-long vacation, and honestly, I'm sick of always having to share a bed with someone I'm not in a relationship with, or having to sleep on the couch during a vacation just because I don't have a partner. I know he doesn't have any intentions to make a move on me. I just want some space for myself to relax and not have to worry about another person in my room, changing clothes, different sleeping schedules, etc. during my vacation. I even offered to pay extra to have a room to myself. The problem is, he can't afford to pay extra too. So, am I the a-hole for insisting on having my own room? Update. We found someone who wants to go on this trip as well, and we'll share a room with him, so I can have a spare room for myself. I offered to pay a bit more, as I am the only person sleeping alone, and I guess that's a fair solution for everyone. Down in the comments, someone suggested, Get all the couples to split up and sleep with the wrong person, and you'll soon see why you're not the a-hole. And JK Automator says, think you might just be opening up the world of swinging to this friend group. If you like this video, please let me know, and subscribe for more juicy tea.